Welcome to Week 5 lecture video entitled Planning Effective Lectures Using a Lesson Cycle for Adult Learners. This lesson cycle was created by Dr. Julianne King for use of Psych 5342 Teaching Psychology. What is a lesson cycle? A lesson cycle is a process of delivering information over relevant content needed for academic success in any particular course. What are the benefits of having a lesson cycle implemented into your course? It gives structure to the course. It gives stability to the students. It organizes you as the instructor. It creates fluidity of the delivery of the content. It allows room for ingenuity and a map of continuation through the curriculum, as well as streamlining what information is needed for lecturing and what information is to be read by the students. Therefore, an effective lecturer must be well read in the content. An effective lecturer must be able to pull out pertinent information. An effective lecturer must know the audience in the presentation style to deliver the content. The effective lecturer must have a presence by just adding just a little bit of a sense of humor within the delivery of the content to have the human touch of there is a real person delivering the information in an online setting. The effective lecturer finally must be cognizant of the skills to develop within the students, as well as how to help the students master content objectives. There are 6 stages of the lesson cycle. Stage 1 is student check-in. How will you connect your students to your content by allowing them to be seen as an individual? This is a wellness check-in. This allows your students to connect to your class emotionally, and it shows that you value them as a student. If you need question stems of what you can insert into your online class, there is a website that has question check-ins for student well-being. This can be a part of your announcements that you allow the students to respond to. It could also be a separate discussion thread that you will implement at the beginning of the week, or really any time throughout the week, just to allow your students to know that you are there. Stage 2 is your CTC, or Connect to Content. This is the stage where the instructor will now show the value of the information by connecting it to the real world. This can be done by a simple video clip. This can be done by presenting a real world scenario. This can be done by bringing in a case study that is current and up to date, but this is the place where you will show the value of the content before you deliver the content in lecture style. Stage 3 is now the actual delivery of the content. What you are presenting to your students is simply the highlights of what they should have read before they listen to your lecture video. This is a place for elaboration and explaining of those hard to understand concepts that you may not be able to have a face-to-face interaction with them, but you're able to give the explanation that they need that comes directly from you and not they're searching it on their own. It gives value to not only the instruction, it gives value to you as the instructor. Stage 3 is where you're also able to encourage and to help develop the process of note-taking. This is the opportunity for you to guide your students in note-taking, as well as assigning pages for your students to read for further explanation. Again, your goal is to keep those objectives in mind and help your students master the content by the objectives as a guideline and the information that you give them. Stage 4 is content interaction. This is where you give the students an opportunity to process your lecture notes. This can be in the form of a discussion board question or any other assigned reading where you're able to implement a collaborative effort. In the next slide, this is one way of implementing a collaborative effort by using the online app Padlet. In this forum, you are able to post questions in a variety of ways, with the students able to deliver or to answer the questions by including videos, by including their own understanding outside of what has been posted in the discussion board. And at the end of their sharing as a collaborative effort, you can now download those notes and put them into the classroom. And so not only are you allowing the students to interact or to interface with the content, but now you are giving them supplemental material that comes from their peers. Stage 5 is debriefing of the content. There are 3 ways of debriefing content. The first way is to check for understanding. This can be done with an online quiz. Remember, the quiz should be short and only a few questions that will give them immediate feedback. The second way to debrief content is to extend their thinking. This could be done in a summary of their learning or in a 1 to 2 page paper where they will incorporate other resources outside of what has been assigned to demonstrate what they have learned. And the third way of debriefing content is to evaluate student thinking. This is where they're able to create a product such as an infographic or create a PowerPoint, or again, this can be a collaborative effort where you give them a group assignment and now they must present the information in the way that you have described. And here we have some examples. Stage 6 is where you will now bridge the content to the next class meeting. This prepares the students for your next class. It allows you to move through the curriculum and it gives them an opportunity to practice and to read on their own. In preparing for the next class, give expectations of what you expect the students to see, what you expect for them to do, how you expect for them to behave, and what you expect for them to have learned by the next class setting. This can be easily done by pre-reading and questions. In this, it creates autonomy and how much control that your students have over their own learning with your assistance and your guidance. And here are several ways of your incorporating the bridging content to the next course or to the next class and allowing you to have a way to implement this into your future class or your future course that you will teach. So the first way that you can bridge content to the next class is pre-reading with discussion questions. These discussion questions do not necessarily have to be a part of your discussion board. It can just be points for them to ponder that you will now start the class with that will shorten your lecture time. It allows you to cover another topic within the chapter or within the textbook that you will not have time to cover with another lecture video. And it extends the current topic that you are covering if the topic is very lengthy and you don't have enough time to go through all of the details. Bridging content to the next class can also be seen as a writing assignment, where they will incorporate information that you did not cover because they will read it, and allow students to explore content in their own meaningful way and to give a product that demonstrates what they have learned on their own. Bridging content to the next class can also be a discussion board with a video of content not covered in your class. And so instead of creating, again, another lecture video, find a video that is synonymous to what you would like to teach. Allow your students to look through that video, such as a TED Talk, and then answer questions there that will allow you to progress through the curriculum. And then in the event that you want to have another flipped video, another lecture video that you don't necessarily want to discuss in your class, you can flip your classroom where you will record a lecture video and then give your students a quiz from the lecture video as homework, or have them to create an infographic. Again, this allows you to bridge from what you are teaching, from where you want to go, as well as progressing through the curriculum so that you are not responsible for teaching the entire book.